Right, you lot. And a couple nights ago, it was the Super Bowl. You know that weird event where people don't care about the sport and only care about 15 minutes of it? I'll never understand American sport. But anyway, now every year the Super Bowl is a massive event for reasons that I don't understand again. And everyone gets so excited about who the halftime show act is going to be. Over the years, there's been many iconic ones. Remember when Prince did Purple Rain and it actually rained? Remember that disaster that was the Maroon 5 halftime show? If you haven't seen that, don't look it up for your own sake. Last year, we had Kendrick Lamar doing it, and well, we had a few boomers moaning at how they couldn't understand what he was saying. I mean, come on, Kendrick Lamar, he's one of the most articulate rappers there is. Everyone loved it as Kendrick called Drake a paedophile in front of millions of people. I don't know how he came back from that, to be honest. But this year, there was a lot of controversy behind the main artist that was picked to do it, Bad Bunny. And in particular, MAGA were very upset about him doing the Super Bowl. Their reasons for this were pretty questionable. Right now, if you don't know who Bad Bunny is, he is a Puerto Rican singer who does kind of Latino music, right? There's a lot of genre blends, it's pretty unique, but his music is in Spanish mostly, right? And that was the first thing they how could we listen to music and not understand what he's saying? Like, come on, it's about the energy, surely, right? Like, you don't need to know what he's saying. Get Google Translate if you're that upset about that. But that wasn't the main reason they were upset about Bad Bunny doing the Super Bowl. Bad Bunny's also been quite outspoken about politics and called out ICE and said some stuff that obviously MAGA don't like. But I don't think Bad Bunny has ever said stuff that completely crossed the line. It's just his views, and he has a right to say that, surely, right? But that wasn't even the main reason that people were upset with Bad Bunny's induction into the Super Bowl. It was because of the fact that apparently he's not American. I don't know if these people have ever opened like a geography book, right? Or they understand that Puerto Rico is an American territory. That makes him American, right? Where else is Puerto Rico? It doesn't mean he's not American. And no matter how many times you present that fact to them, they still just kind of are ignorant to it. It's such bizarre. Now, what you can't do, right, and usually when someone like Bad Bunny would get the gig, they're saying, oh, he's only there for a diversity quota, right? It's DEI. Bad Bunny is one of the biggest artists in the world. He's the most streamed artist on Spotify globally. When it comes to numbers, I'd say the only names that really even come close to Bad Bunny are your Taylor Swifts, your Bruno Marses, your Drakes, maybe nowadays your Morgan Wallens of the world, right? And even that last one is Stretch. Bad Bunny is massive and he's very popular in America. He had all the accolades. He's a high energy performer, you know what I mean? A lot of charisma, a lot of stage presence. It was a natural fit to do the Super Bowl at some point. I do not understand why anyone would oppose to that, apart from theories about him not being American. I've not seen such a stupid theory about someone not being American since they tried to claim Obama wasn't from America. Anyway, never fear. To protest Bad Bunny being the headline act at the Super Bowl, Turning Point, who were the company spearheaded previously by the late Charlie Kirk, decided to put on their own halftime show. Why do they keep doing this? Turning Point's attempts to be trendy and cool are just like really embarrassing to watch. Kirk was a man who once claimed he only let his kids listen to classical music and claimed that all modern music is terrible. Has he heard The Fall Off? That came out last week, that was quite good. No modern music is good, you're having a laugh, Kirk. What an oblivious thing to say. Like, out of all of his takes, and he had some questionable ones, mind you, that's probably his most offensive to me. There's no good music. Come on. Only classic. Oh, God. Anyway. So do you really think that, like, Kirk would be happy with what's going on with all of this right now? In their all-American halftime show, which, again, we already debunked Bad Bunny not being American a minute ago, but you notice how this all-American show is about as white as, like, the Frosty the Snowman film? Now, I'm not saying that's a problem, right? They're all white. It's just, you're not helping your case, are you? When you're calling it the all-American show, You're not having someone who is American just because he sings in Spanish. You're not helping your case, Turning Point, there. You're really not. But anyway, I think, right, the Turning Point show would get some headline act that could rival Bad Bunny, right? That could say, okay, this is the legend of the game. You'd think they'd wall out, try and get Bob Dylan out or something, you know? Or like try and get something like a 50 Cent. I think he's Republican, right? Like, maybe even Nicki Minaj would have been better, but imagine Turning Point fans pretending to like her. They got Kid Rock. Is that the best they could do? Now, if you know who Kid Rock is, he's this loaf, lump, dad rock, cheesy singer from the early 2000s. He really wasn't that successful, and it's just a lot of his music's very corny and dated. He did a song a couple years ago called Never Enough, with probably the worst use of autotune I think I've ever heard.
Never enough money in the bank. There's never enough gas in the tank. Can you feel me on it? We keep gunning.
I'm not going to criticise Kid Rock because I disagree with some of his views, right? I'm going to criticise Kid Rock because I think he's a terrible artist, an awful choice. He's just corny as hell. He's not had that many hits. And I mean, comparing him to Bad Bunny is like comparing me to Usain Bolt in a running competition. They're not even in the same ballpark. Kid Rock is only really relevant because he's been outspoken about a few things. He has views about trans people that make J.K. Rowling look like their biggest fan. He had a massive fit a few years ago about a Bud Light advert. That was funny. And he's just an all-around, like, problematic person. Now, to add to his problematic nature, right, a couple of days before this Turning Point halftime All-American show, it was found that Kid Rock did a song about how he liked young girls.
Young ladies, I like them underage. See, some say that's statutory, but I say it's mandatory.
That's not a joke. They found that, right? So, with all of the stuff about the Epstein files and a lot of paedophiles being exposed at the moment, your headline act, Turning Point, has a song about how he likes young girls. Amazing. Kid Rock had this whole like festival and like tour planned, and a lot of acts are pulling out now from the show. I'm sorry, right? Surely you knew beforehand that he had this song. It's only like a publicity thing. It's like, oh, let's look good. Let's pull out the Kid Rock show because he's in the news. You knew his nature before. You're only doing it for a quick buck. Bloody hell. But yeah, why did Kid Rock get this opportunity? Is there no one better? Like, the Republicans not have any better musicians than Kid Rock? Like, I could probably name a few. They might as well got Tom McDonald to do it. That would have been funnier. When it came to reception and views on the night, they had some streaming issues. They couldn't stream it on Twitter due to licensing. And I think the broadcast got took down due to copyright. The whole thing was a bit of a farce, really. They didn't get the views they wanted, and the only really engagement they've got is people taking the mick out of them. You've had country stars like Zach Bryan call them embarrassing, and I feel like even people on the right found this embarrassing. Like, you got Morgan Wallen to do the Super Bowl, and the left started doing like a halftime show, and they got Dylan Mulvaney to do it. I'd be embarrassed, right? I'm not saying this is just embarrassing. I'm not talking about the politics of it all. It's just embarrassing that you so upset about a Puerto Rican man doing the halftime show that you've set up your own halftime show where all of MAGA are pretending to like a guy's music they would never listen to. They're all pretending to love Kid Rock just because he says the things that they want to hear. You don't like Kid Rock. You've never liked Kid Rock. Otherwise, you do, right? The whole thing is just a disaster class on so many senses. And I wonder who's going to do the Turning Point show next year. If there is a next year. Nicki Minaj? Tom McDonald? Anyway, I think this was just comical and it flopped. Of course it did. I don't know what the next video is going to be, but I've got a new song coming out soon. I will see you lot.